for myself, with this story especially, it seems like, and I felt in a certain way, there was no way for me not to deal with what my reaction was to the femicides in Juarez, or to the fact that, I'm trying to remember now, I know Tanaya Wonder was putting together an exhibit, but I want to say the number was like 1,873 women missing in Canada and the U.S. Indigenous women missing in Canada and the U.S.
3,000.
It's 3,000?
3,000.
Okay, so much higher than that.
Dead.
That are missing and dead. And then you think of it, that's daily reality. You know, how do we as people live with a number like that, or a fact like that? You have to have some response to it. And so I think the hope comes in one, speaking to what the truth is, rather than trying to deny it or trying to put it aside. And then also to transform the story in some way. I know someone told me with the story, well, this doesn't really do anything on the real, the real level, on the real, in reality, who really is the story saving or helping? I'm like, well, I mean, there's a damage to the body, to the bodies, to the people. And then there's the damage, both psychological and emotional and spiritual, that the knowledge of that kind of violence does to us all. And we have to speak to that, and we have to find a way to heal ourselves and to be able to act. Because if you are in despair, you cannot act. Not in any way, not in an artistic way, not in a political way, not in an organized way, at all. So if anything, I hope that's, where my stories can come in, to bring in enough hope to be able to do something, as opposed to falling into despair.
Yeah, I sense that. The refrain of flesh and bone and blood and all of those tactile moments in the story are about bringing life and trying to breathe back life. And in that way, I think that Indigenous writers, all of us are trying to bring back life, and bring back life both in the metaphorical sense, but also in bringing the return, that return into the 21st century. I just have been working on sites of return. And for us as Native people, those are mound sites. My tribe has a site in Mississippi that is our mother mound, and it's a site where we return for ceremonies. We return for that kind of story about birthing us over and over. It's if you will, a never-ending story. And the fact that Native North America, tens of millions of people have lived and died. It's a violent, contact was a violent, continues to be violent, and the missing and murdered women is just one example of the violence of that space, that contact that keeps reverberating through our stories and fiction. So, I don't think, I don't pay much attention to that as a writer. I know someone said, you have 11 mass big murders in Shell Shaker, and I was like, really? Well, that's not much. And not much.
It could be worse.
It could be worse. I could have done more. But and not to be flippant, but our lives as Native women are surrounded by this story, because I carry it on my back. I embody those stories. I'm the first generation out of 4 not to be in a federal boarding school. 4. That's my great-grandparents. And I'm the first. And so as a consequence, I'm responsible in some way for telling these stories. My grandmother's name was Anolatabi. It means tells and kills. So it's a violence contact in this place.